Hey, what's up, honeymooners? We have so much cool merch. We have hoodies,
There's shirts,
tote bags,
phone cases,
dog sweaters,
board shorts,
toothbrushes,
towels.
kimonos.
It's called a robe, Natasha.
Check it out at endlesshoneymoonpod.com/shop.
Merch it up. Welcome to the Endless Honeymoon Podcast. I'm Moshe Kasher. That's my wife, Natasha Leggero.
Hi.
She just showed me a picture of this man, and she's like, "Look at this guy's new girlfriend." And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "What about it? Is she too young for him?" She goes, "No, I guess they're kind of similarly matched." Well, what? Well, she's really hot, and he's not. The man's a millionaire. She knew he's a millionaire. She knew this. I mean, it's like...
Speaking of millionaire, Moshe, we got into a fight the other day. Not a fight, but I would love to ask people what they think.
Are you ready for the next round of Is Moshe a Ethnic Stereotype? Brought to you by the Endless Honeymoon Podcast.
No, seriously, let's ask people because I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty clear what the answer is.
All right, I would love to get at people's takes, but I just know that all these, we have like a gigantic swath of our listeners are hardcore Bernie bros, and you know that I'm in the K-Hive, right? I'm straight up Kamala, like Kamala is my bae, like straight up Kamala is my hardcore bae, and so like I don't want to.
You sound so stupid.
No, I sound super sophisticated and cool, but Kamala is my bae, and Bernie is pure evil.
Okay.
You know that's
they're not opposites.
You know that's my take. No, you know that's my take. Bernie is worse than Pol Pot, and Kamala is equal to the Virgin Mary.
Bernie's my bae.
Oh, Bernie's your bae? Mm-hmm. Oh, you're a Bernie bae?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they should call the female Bernies. Is Bernie baes.
Wait, but hold on. So can I just...
Anyway, it's just they're going to go off on me about this. I know that. Listen, I'm a leftist, okay, guys? but I...
Okay.
Go ahead, Natasha.
So finally, after a long 3 years, we decided we could maybe get a massage if it were outside.
What? Why are you going to COVID talk all of a sudden?
I'm just saying.
What are you trying to paint?
Someone coming to the house.
Hold on, Natasha. Are you trying to fool our listeners into thinking we haven't been getting massages indoors for over a year at this point?
I haven't really.
Natasha.
I've gotten 2.
Natasha.
What?
Natasha.
What?
COVID is Ovid. Virgil, Ovid,
okay.
the Greek writer.
So when someone comes to your house, which is a very rarefied experience to have someone come to your house and give you a massage.
Sure.
Obviously. This is like, we are very lucky to be able to do this. And I think it's been a long time. You know, we're very excited. This is like something that's
we give to Black Lives Matter.
Oh my God.
And Planned Parenthood. It just seems like there's so much equivocation about this.
So when they give you the price,
yeah,
should you add?
Hold on a second. You're doing the thing that you always do, which is going to the jugular punchline without setting up the context. So yeah,
doesn't need that much context.
It needs total context. Yes, if you hire a massage therapist from a service, then you tip them because the service takes a percentage.
So if you hire them from a friend, you don't tip them? That makes no sense, Moshe. You've obviously never worked for tips.
I have not ever worked for tips.
Yeah, that explains a lot.
It explains a lot? What does the word "rick-splain" even mean, Natasha? Okay, you attack me, I attack back. There's no such word as rick-splain. Okay, actually what you're doing right now, you're actually Gentile-splaining. And I know you're no longer a Gentile, but you have all that Gentile upbringing. And so, okay, is there no difference between... I don't even want to do this intro because I know I'm going to get fucking blasted.
What, do you think the massage therapists who work for a company have less money than the ones who work for themselves?
I think...
You should have you shouldn't... Your tipping should not... it should not be what's the word?
Contingent?
Contingent.
Or as you would say, Rick-tingent? I got you this time.
Your tipping should not be Rick-tingent on whether or not the person works for themselves, works for a company.
What do you mean?
You should just have like a standard thing. Add 20% to all of your services always.
To every interaction you ever do, you tip 20%?
Yes.
No matter what? Is that true? No matter what you do, you tip 20%?
I mean, any kind of
Do you tip 20% at a retail establishment?
No, that's
Why?
not a service, Moshe.
They're selling you something.
Oh my God.
Wait, okay. I'm honestly curious. Okay, maybe I fucked up. Okay, now I'm feeling guilty. I'm feeling panicky. I voted for Bernie twice. When the person is the sole proprietor, where they are the owner, you are hiring the owner. You're supposed to tip on top of their rate.
What is this, like the 1980s? Like, yes, it doesn't matter who the owner is.
Of course
they're
it
the
matters.
owner of their massage table.
100% it matters. The reason that you tip people at restaurants and taxis and places like that is because they are underpaid by their employer, and their employer takes a specifically in those cases.
I do understand what you're saying.
The employer takes a percentage, so you tip to compensate for that.
How do you know that this massage therapist who owns their own massage table and doesn't work for a business, their wages aren't being garnered by the government for something?
Well, everybody's wages are being garnished by the government. And this time I fucked up and said a word that didn't make sense.
Laura, would you tip someone who came to your house?
Well, don't involve Laura. Nobody knows who fucking Laura is, okay? This is between you, me, and Ovid. Okay, Laura. A massage therapist. It's not through a service.
They tell you the price. You just give them that money.
It's your friend. And let's see.
It's not your friend.
No, not your friend, but it's like a person you know, and it's like, oh, I do massage therapy. Hold on, let me give you the whole thing. It's a person you know. You're like, oh, would you come over and give us a massage? Yes. And
would you like the opportunity to massage me?
No.
Okay, come over.
Can I hire you to massage me? At the end of the massage, you say, what is your rate? And they say, it's this amount. And then you pay that amount. Or do you pay that amount plus 20%? Have I fucked up here? I'm going to get fucking roasted over the coals. Pulled.
Miss Laura?
Personally, I think I would round to the nearest 20.
Round to the nearest 20.
But she's also under 30, and she doesn't understand that like 20% added to everything is sort of standard.
Okay.
Thank you. She would. She actually would tip 20% after I scolded.
Then, by the way, okay, then when you hire somebody from a service, you should tip 30% because they're getting
30% is too much.
Because some corporation is
not your problem.
Okay, so now you support corporations.
When you get a haircut, do you tip them?
I do.
But if he owned the company, you wouldn't tip him?
If my friend or person I knew came to my house and I said, what's your rate? And they said $100, $50 for a haircut. Would I give them $70? Is that what you're asking me?
Listen, this is a new thing where you get an in-person massage. It just seemed like the most COVID safe, outdoor, we could do it. But here's my thing. I used to labor over how much do I tip people for giving a haircut? How much do I tip them at the manicure place? How much do I tip them for coloring my hair? And I could never figure it out. And then my friend, Ricky Lindholm, was just like, oh, you just add 20% to everything. Just whenever they give you the price, say, okay, can you add 20%? Can you add 20%?
I don't think you understand. It's against my religion to tip the owner. I don't think you get that. When you get bar mitzvah...
By the way, the owner's the one with all the bills, you idiot.
No, the owner's the one that makes all the money. You do not ever call me an idiot.
The owner's the one who's got to like deal with the plumbing issues and buying all the furniture for the shop and paying all the employees.
What fucking shop are you talking about? We're talking about an individual sole proprietor who owns their own business of massage therapy.
Listen.
You tip the owner of businesses? Yes. Oh, hey, sorry about your infrastructure.
Oh, hey, thanks for the haircut. Oh, do you happen to own this place?
Are you the CEO of DuPont? Here's a little something extra for the chlorine that I bought.
Oh my God. You act like you're like having to tip out Mark Zuckerberg or something.
You would. You go, oh my God, the overhead on the Facebook headquarters must be out of control. Here, Mark, here's a little something extra for you.
Listen, you should always tip.
I'm a tipper. I just thought, and maybe I fucked up, that because this person wasn't going through a service or a spa, that the tipping thing wasn't part of it, because I said, what's your rate? And they said, this is my rate. Just because culturally...
Like if you were speaking to a foreman, then you'd be like, what is your company's
rate? A foreman?
Well, what do you mean? Just because they tell you the rate?
Do you tip a construction
worker?
worker?
Why are you saying they own their own business? They're just people trying to make a living. They're
not hearing what I'm... You're not...
schlepping, whatever you say.
It's schlepping, and you should
Schlepping.
know that as a recent convert to the Hebrew faith.
Their massage table through
So,
your garage,
do you-
through your messy apartment,
Okay.
into your house.
Do you tip the handyman?
No.
Why not? That's a service. He's schlepping all of his tools.
Because it's more of like you've decided on the price for a job, or you pay them an hourly.
fucking exactly. Yeah. Just my point is that
But the handymen are not like, you don't tip the plumber.
why not? That's a service.
I don't know why not, but
I don't know either.
There's
Tip-
like
listen-
certain things, Moshe.
Listen, give me the benefit of the doubt. Tipping is a little bit confusing. Sometimes you don't know who to tip and who to not tip.
When in doubt, just add
Tip it out.
20%. But nobody tips plumbers.
When in
That's
doubt, whip it
not a
out.
thing. You never heard plumbers talking about their tips.
Right. So let me just articulate my position, even as I admit perhaps I'm wrong. The only reason, I think the reason that you tip massage therapists culturally is because often they work for services or spas, and you know that service or spa is, or hotels or whatever, is taking a percentage of their income. Ergo, you tip extra to make up for what the owners are taking, because owners are bad, workers are good in my political community.
If workers are good, give them 20%. These people work for cash. Like
you're
they
not-
obviously would like more of your cash.
Okay, you're not hearing my point, but maybe I would love to hear what the people out here think.
All right, well, we'll open that up to the crowd.
But you know what? Be gentle. Just be gentle with me. Natasha, I think you can all hear, has been engaged in verbal, like sort of wanton verbal abuse towards me.
It's hard for me with you, Moshe, because when we first met, you wanted to tip 15% at lunch.
Yes, that was some, and I adjusted that, didn't I? That made sense to me at the time, and it still makes sense to me. But culturally,
why does that still make sense?
Well, especially, okay, what do you tip for takeout?
I always tip 20%. So
you tip 20% for takeout, but 20% for full service.
I'll tell you when I don't tip 20%. When I'm waiting in line at a restaurant in the flesh, and they give you one of those little numbers to put on your.
Then you don't tip 20%.
Then I'll tip like 15%.
Wait a second. If they give hold on a second.
No, maybe that's not true.
If they give you a number, you give them 15%. But if
because it's not like an actual waiter.
But if they give you the burrito directly, you give them 20%.
No, for takeout, I actually don't know. Sometimes if I call food to be picked up, I don't know that I always tip.
At all? Natasha,
when I sign for it. Yes, when I sign for it, but not usually 20%. Like
Not
if I pick up a $50 takeout order, I'm probably not going to tip 20% if I've come there, they haven't delivered it, and I'm leaving there.
Is there a tipping expert out there that can just help us out? And also a marriage and family therapist? When in doubt, tip it out. When in doubt, whip it out.
Yeah, just like.
But I wasn't in doubt until you were like, I genuinely thought if the massage therapist is a direct contract, meaning they're going to get 100% of the payment, that tipping is not necessary, and they tell you what their rate. Let me just finish my thought. They tell you what their rate is, and you pay that rate because they've set that's their rate.
What you're saying makes sense. And in theory, it's all cool, except we are in late stage capitalism, and everybody's in late stage capitalism. So everybody wants as much money as possible. So for goodwill, if you want that person to keep coming back, you should just tip them.
Wait, so why then, therefore, why do we not tip the handyman?
Because no one's ever tipped a handyman, but
Why not?
everyone's always tipped for a massage.
But now we're in late stage capitalism, and we should be tipping them too.
It was never a thing.
Well, anyway.
They're charging you more. Don't worry.
My spiritual leader, Kamala, don't know her middle name, Harris, the VP herself, she says that capitalism is a good thing. And my grandfather, my spiritual grandfather, Baba Joe Biden, he says he wants to refund the police. And he thinks capitalism is good. So that's who I'm listening to.
All right.
So you can take your AOC squad Bernie bull doo-doo crap, and you can take it to the commune that you live on, because here in Realityville, in my community, we like capital.
You almost done.
I'm done right now. We could switch over to taking a call, but we would love your thoughts, and just be nice to me.
All right. Well, let's take a call.
Hey, Tosh.
Yeah, Moshe.
You know that I used to be a smoker, and then I became a vapor, and then I became a gum chewer, and then I found the ultimate nicotine distraction. It's the nicotine toothpick.
Those Zippix are good.
They are... Okay, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys. I tried every nicotine toothpick company when I was going through my nicotine alternative phases.
He really did.
And Zippix is the most delicious one that I found. It's like a little treat. My favorite was the sweet whiskey. It has a licorice feeling to it.
Our bedroom still smells like it. I
mean,
like it.
They were my favorite, but
It's
I
very
tried
aromatic.
I tried them all. I tried the mocha. I tried the peppermint
I
watermelon.
like the cinnamon.
Cinnamon's really good. The sweet wood I thought was really good too. Spice Island clove, they're all so good.
Plus,
And
you can stop exposing your lungs to smoke and vape fog. That's the most important thing,
if
Moshe.
there's anything the last 3 years have shown us, it's leave your lungs alone.
No more dip spit.
Yeah, it's oral gratification and amazing flavors that keep people coming back to Zippix. They are so good and my favorite. You should try them if you're thinking about quitting or you're thinking about just doing it less, or if you fly a lot.
Also, they have the caffeine ones and just the energy ones, even if you don't want nicotine.
Right, if you're not a nicotine fan. But if you fly and you're a smoker or you're a vapor or whatever, you don't have to use them to quit, obviously. You can use them in order to get through a long flight. Go to zippixtoothpicks.com and use code HONEYMOON to save 10% off your order.
That's zippixtoothpicks.com, promo code HONEYMOON. Must be 21 or older to order. Zip more, smoke less with Zippix toothpicks.
Hey, Tosh.
Yeah, Moshe?
You know, I love and am passionate about single-use plastics, but you hate that, right? You don't like throwing away tons and tons of plastics every day?
No, I don't.
It's my thing, but it's not your thing. And so you told me about Blue Land products.
I love these products because I'm doing so much of my, spending so much of my time cleaning. But then also it's very
Feels
nice
passive aggressive.
to not have to throw away the plastic when you're done with it, because I have gone through many plastic containers
Well,
full of cleaning supplies.
Blue Land is a very simple concept. Rather than you buying a new plastic bottle every time you buy a cleaning solution, how about they send you a plastic bottle once and a bunch of tablets that you can dissolve to make those cleaning solutions, and you will never have to throw away another plastic bottle. I mean, and it's cheap too. Refills start at just $2, so you don't have to buy more and you'll save more.
Blue Land's innovative tablet refill solution takes up 10 times less space than a traditional bottle, and their powerful formulas keep your home clean and smelling amazing. So you just put the little tablet in,
It dissolves.
and then you fill it up with water, and then you just keep reusing the same bottle.
It's all kinds of stuff. They've got cleaning sprays, hand soaps, toilet cleaners, laundry tablets, dishwasher tablets. You can try their Clean Essentials kit, which has everything you need to get started. Blue Land products come in refreshing signature scents like iris agave, fresh lemon, and eucalyptus mint.
Right now, you can get 15% off your first order when you go to blueland.com/honeymoon.
That's 15% off your first order with any Blue Land products at blueland.com/honeymoon.
blueland.com/honeymoon.
Okay, we're going...
All right. Okay, we're
Okay.
gonna... Oh, okay.
Okay. I'll do it.
I'll do it. I'll do it, honey.
Okay, you do it.
No, you can do it.
No, go ahead.
Luke in Lakeland, Florida.
We're going to call Luke in Lakeland, Florida. I'm going to be all, I am your father, and he'll be really tickled because it's like a Star Wars reference.
Hilarious, honey.
Thank you, dear.
Lakeland. Have you ever heard of that place?
I have not.
Sounds inland. There's maybe a lake.
Oh, he looks cool. He looks like a fellow that I would take ayahuasca with at Burning Man. Hello, how
Hi,
are
Luke.
you?
Hello. There's a mic stand in the way of you, Moshe.
Oh, you can't see me?
Or
Oh, I see that. It's our video.
You're blocked by like
Oh.
a tripod.
Oh, yeah. Can you move it over or will it mess our...
I know.
our
Oh,
angle?
that's my-
Oh.
that's
use the
my,
tripod.
Oh, yeah. There we go. That's sweet right there. What's going on in Lakeland, Florida? What do you guys got going
You
on
got to
there?
be Orlando adjacent. huh?
Actually, I just found out that there's a park opening up that has a restaurant and bars and walking paths and gardens.
Nice.
There's some new stuff.
How does that happen in a
this
in
town
a
is
city?
growing.
Is that
Lakeland's on the come up. Lakeland was just recently named in U.S. News and World Report one of the top 20 up and coming cities in the northern Florida region to move to if you make under $65,000 a year and you work in a
Is it
union.
really?
No, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
I do think it's
I was just going to amend that. It's Central Florida, but
Yeah.
But
But fake news. That's fake news. It's U.S. News and World Report. They don't get it.
Well, I just have to say that I think it's really nice when things like that happen, and things actually get better. Your area gets better.
Yeah.
They're like, that's cool.
This city puts a lot of money back into the community, and it's really great. That's why I like living here.
Cool.
And are there many lakes in that land?
There are. Yeah, we live very close to one of the biggest lakes in the area.
I like a lake. I like a lake.
A lot of alligators.
Yeah, you guys got alligator lakes.
Yeah.
That's not good. Yeah, the whole freshwater thing in Florida is like takes away so much of the charm of the beauty of the landscape there, because it's like, oh yeah, come to our beautiful lagoon where you'll probably be eaten. You know what? I'm staying in California.
My dad had a condo in Florida, and it overlooked a swamp, and they were telling us there were alligators in it.
Yeah, even in like an industrial apartment, like a industrial, like whatever that was, like a gated community, there's fucking alligators that will eat your children.
Oh yeah. The apartment that my wife and I used to live in, there were alligators in the lakes right next to the apartment.
So
Like,
crazy.
they were just sunbathing right there, and
Wow.
Would
there
they
were
eat a
signs
baby?
saying "Don't get too close to the
Yeah,
lake."
they'd eat a baby. What do you think? They're
If they had
alligators.
the opportunity.
Ugh. All right. Well,
You never saw a Warner Brothers cartoon?
what's worse, you guys, an alligator or a snake?
A fucking alligator.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because where we hike, there's sometimes snakes coming out, and I get really scared. And then Moshe pushes me and makes me go the route that we've seen the snake.
Luke,
and I'm like, I know there's snakes in there. Can we just go the other way?
Luke, this is not. She's not accurately describing this. She will see a snake on a path, and then from that point on, will make us do a detour, a long detour, to go a completely different route.
Because the snakes live
forever,
there.
as if there aren't snakes on the detour.
No. Snakes come where it's like a really tiny path. I wanted to go to a wider path where no snakes would come.
Who you with there, Luke?
Snakes are, no, I'm sorry, Natasha. I love you, but Moshe, you're right.
Here's the thing about
snakes are scared. Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
scared?
snakes will
Wait,
run
so
away from you.
you don't think I need to be that worried about snakes?
No.
Okay.
Here's
Well,
the
it depends on where you are.
Here's the difference.
There's no
between,
alligators in
We
the
live in the
desert.
Amazon.
Here's here's the difference between snakes and alligators. Like 1% of all snakes are dangerous. Every single alligator you've ever met wants to eat you alive.
Okay, well, listen, Luke, we want to hear what's up with you.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not an alligator. Tell us.
Yes, I have an alligator in my backyard that I really need help on how to
Wow.
deal with it. So
You've
if
come
you
to the
can
right
help me.
place. Let me ask you a real question, Luke.
Okay.
How much money would it cost? How much could I pay you to have you go up to one of the alligators and like taunt it and like maybe even slap it on the nose? How much money to do that?
None.
I'm not asking you. I'm asking Luke. He moved to Florida. He likes taking risks.
Man, it would have to be $5 million.
$5 million? That's pretty good. That's respectable.
All right, I respect you.
I can lose a hand for $5 million.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a thing. I like my limbs.
You might get away with it.
No, I like my limbs.
All right. Anyway,
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. High risk, high reward.
That's right.
You know?
$5 million. Okay, Luke, and this is going to shock you. I'm willing to pay you $5 million if you go right now. No, I'm not. I'm lying. What's up? How can we help?
Okay. So, all right. I have a lot of hobbies. I know this is very different from a lot of the questions that you get, but I have a lot of hobbies and I have a wife.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to get advice on how to balance, getting better at my hobbies. Because eventually I want to turn them into a career so that I don't have to work for somebody else.
I like this
But
question.
to get better at that, I have to spend a lot of time to really hone those skills. But that means taking time away from my wife. And
how long you
go
been
ahead.
mixing records?
17 years.
No, is that one of them?
No, it's
No.
not.
Okay. What are they? I am curious. What are your hobbies?
So I make pottery.
Mhm.
I do woodworking.
I want to kill him.
Why? He seems so cool.
I know, but like I would love. I feel like I have artistic talent, but like I don't have any time to do that ever, and I never will.
That's just not true.
That's my question. That's the problem.
But you don't
that
even
I'm
have a
having.
kid.
How do you know that?
Oh, I thought
I don't
you
have a kid.
No, okay. Well, because it
No,
would have
I
been.
don't have
I'll tell you why.
There's
How
no
we
way
know
you
that it
do.
would have been psychotic of you to be like, I've got a lot of hobbies and I got a wife, and then 40 minutes later you're like, oh yeah, we've got 4 kids. But anyway, my point is, what about this wife? Okay, pottery, woodworking. What else?
I also I'm a cook. I do primarily all the cooking for the house. I play tennis on the weekends.
Let me
Dungeons and
guess. I don't think
Dragons.
you're hoping to
I
become a
also-
professional tennis player at some point in your future, right?
No. It's purely for
Woodworking,
exercise.
woodworking, and pottery is what you're thinking. You want to become an
Correct,
artist, a
yeah.
full-time artist.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Tennis, Dungeons and Dragons, learning Spanish. I bake bread.
Did you hear that, Natasha?
Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, I heard
he
it.
tried to not incur your wrath.
Can you just stop and tell me your top 3? What are the top 3 you'd like to get better at that you really want to devote
pottery.
time to?
Well, as far as making it a career, it would be pottery and woodworking, and hopefully integrating those two
Mm-hmm.
to sell them, obviously,
Well,
and
this
being
is-
able to work from home so that I can spend more time with my wife outside of.
Okay, relax
you know,
about your
work.
wife. This is very important what you just said, because you're actually thinking of starting, a career path for yourself out of some of your art. And I will definitely back you up that if you want to create a career for yourself from some kind of art, you definitely have to put in your 30,000 hours, or at least attempt to. Maybe you'll get lucky, but that is
Isn't
really
it 10,000
important.
hours? You just
Whatever
tripled
it
It is
is.
10,000
Okay, well,
hours, maybe.
10,000 hours. It's like 30,000 hours.
Yeah.
It all seems unattainable, but I think it's really important to give that to because that's not really a hobby. If you're trying to make a career from something, that's
Yep.
that's an artistic thing. That's something that you're gonna have to pay into.
Natasha's right, and you
Yeah.
know that. It sounds like he knows that those two
Yeah.
things in particular. If you want to move from being a hobbyist to an artisan, you are going to have your instincts are correct. You're going to have to do the work in order.
Neglect my wife.
No.
No. I
think
have
that's
something for your wife.
wait.
You have a million things you like to do.
Yeah.
Find something that
Yeah.
she likes to do that you guys can have a hobby together. I always roast, or not even roast, but just really rag Moshe. When he starts watching all this TV without me, and I'm like, wait, I could have watched that. Wait, I wanted to watch. Why couldn't we have watched that together? Because it's so fun to watch something together, and we have a small area of things that we would actually both like. Today, happy Holocaust, Ken Burns Holocaust documentary coming out day. He's very excited
happy
about that.
Ken Burns Holocaust documentary drop day, everybody. I'm sorry we didn't mention that on the podcast to start it off. Yeah, it's a big holiday around here.
But anyway, I'm just saying that it's, try to use your creativity and finding hobbies for yourself to find something that you two can get into together.
But hold on.
Duh.
Well, okay. Yes, duh, in a way. But
it might take some creativity. It might not be the one that he's the most excited about.
no, I mean, but I kind of disagree with you here, Natasha. If it's woodworking and pottery, and those are eyes on the prize, I want to start a thing where I'm a woodworker and a potter, and that's what I make my living from. Then you can't just hope that your wife will also
she's
get
not
into woodworking
interested.
and pottery. That's not realistic. But I think what you're
He's
kind of
talking about bread baking
that's
and Dungeons and Dragons.
That's what I was gonna say. I have my big hobbies are surfing, and DJing now recently, and I like video games, right?
Camping,
I wouldn't call it
RVs.
I don't think. Yeah, maybe those are.
Composting toilets.
I don't know if I would call those hobbies, but let's just take those 3 things, right? Surfing, DJing, video games. For me, surfing is a kind of a non-negotiable because it brings me stability and mental health, and I love it. So
it's almost like him going to the therapist, and then he comes back and he's in a better mood because he surfed. So it's kind of like a very positive influence on our marriage.
So I put that in one category. Then you got DJing and video games, right? Those are both
Negative influence.
Those are both truly, you would say, truly elective.
Appalling.
I would say really good, and what they pair well with, DJing especially, is the new Ken Burns Holocaust documentary. But anyway, when I started DJing, I kind of put not like I won't do that anymore, but I haven't played video games in 6 months because I just realized I also have a family and a wife and a child and a career and, you know, like writing to do for a living and blah, blah, blah. And I just don't have the bandwidth for all that stuff. So I got to kind of decide what's important to me right now. Obviously surfing's important to me and DJing's important to me. So I kind of just don't have the time to play a video game. Will I play one again in the future? Absolutely. But I think like Natasha's instinct is right. All this other stuff, this bread baking, this Dungeons and Dragons, this, I mean,
maybe you guys could join a trivia team, or I don't know, like what is something, does she have any interests?
Oh, well, she reads a lot and I don't.
You could read a book together.
But he's not into that. It's like asking her to make a pot.
Yeah. Well, the problem is really it's kind of the objects in motion, stay in motion, you know, where I'll spend a lot of time where I'm making things, and then I'll have a season where I'm not, and I'm spending all my time with her, and I feel like when I'm doing one, I'm neglecting the other.
Right. So,
and I kind of want to. I get out of that momentum of making things, and it's harder to restart making things when I'm not, you know, when I'm not doing that.
Here's what I can
tell. The balance issue is what I'm asking about.
But I think this is all, there's so many false dichotomies in the problem as you're posing it that I want to I want to get to what I think is like the root of it all, right? In order to jump the line from hobbyist to professional, you have to work so fucking hard. I mean, yes, people have gotten weirdly lucky, but is Luke gonna get weirdly lucky? You can't count on luck. What you can count on is hard work. Yeah. So luck strikes, and you need it sometimes along with hard work in order to make it. But in order to make the leap from hobbyist to professional, you have to like have, it's a non-negotiable that you have to have an unrelenting, I don't mean like workaholic, I mean just steady amount of focus and attention placed on that.
She needs to understand that and respect that. So maybe something that seems like a hobby maybe isn't. And that's something that she needs to know. If you really think you're going to meld, you know, what did you say? Woodworking and sculpture?
Wood clay.
You know, into a career, meaning something that could potentially support yourself and a family. Exactly. Like that's something she should know, so that like you need to spend 8 hours a day, but having those times where it's like your time together is really important, and you should like establish a date night, and you should like, if finding a hobby together isn't, you know, maybe you guys could like watch a series together, binge something, you know, like make sure you're giving it adequate time. Because sometimes I need to remind Moshe like, hey, I'm here too, like can we find something that we'd like to watch together to get into? And he's like, well, what do you want to watch? And I'm like, I don't know. And I also let's maybe find something.
I also like, often have to remind you of similar things. But
no, I know. I mean,
well, it's true.
Of course, I'm just saying.
Well, what I was trying to say was,
I was trying to share our experience to help him.
No, I know. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's it.
The other thing I was trying to say was that equally non-negotiable is that time has to be spent with your partner in order for the relationship not to get all fucked up and wither and die. So if both of those things are true, I want to become a professional artisan, and I love my wife and want to always be married to her and have that be a healthy relationship, then both of those things needs your love and attention. It's like, it's not a negotiable. It's like gardening. I don't know anything about gardening, but I assume that what I'm about to say is correct based on just some common sense. Gardening isn't negotiable. It's not like I like gardening, but sometimes I like instead to go traveling. Well, your garden will die. It always has to be watered. It's not, you can't just be like, I'm going to put a 6-month pause on the garden, and then when I come back, I'll grow the tomatoes more. It's like, they're dead. So I think that finding a way.
Good analogy, Moshe.
Thank you. And I've never gardened in my life, but like, I think that finding a way to water that plant that is your artistic dream while also watering your relationship is I'm going too far. I'm beating the metaphor to death. Is super important. And I think the way for you to do it is like, I really relate to what you're saying, where you're like, you don't have a system. You're like, oh, sometimes
it's a time management thing. I have a 40-hour-a-week job.
Right, but you have to start scheduling stuff. Like that's what's
that helps.
You have to start saying to yourself, okay, Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, that's my pottery nights. But Friday night is our date night. And Saturday night we do our mutual thing together, as Natasha was suggesting. You got to start systematizing it, because what you want to do is a huge thing, which is leave your job behind and become your own boss. I mean, I think it's possible. It just is going to require
it takes
focus.
So much focus, and that's why it's good to be traveling light, and you have a wife, that's great, but you don't have like that many other obligations. So if you can just I'm assuming she has a job.
Yes.
So the more you can work during while she's working, the better, obviously. And, just scheduling it.
And you know what somebody once told me, that I was just telling Natasha this the other day. Somebody once told me who'd started a bunch of businesses. I was like, he said, you know what starting businesses requires? Is balls. And as crude of a metaphor as that is, I think it's true. Like, if you want to become a professional woodworker and potter, you have to know that at some point you're going to have to take a leap and make a huge risk.
Oh, and by the way, back to the calendar too. I had this friend, and I went over to his house, and he's a very creative person, and he had in his calendar like scheduled days off. It was like day off, like Wednesday, day off. And
That's
I was
cool.
like, why do you have those off scheduled? And he's like, oh, because I'm doing that thing this day. And then after that, I have to work at this other job. So I know I'm going to need like that space there.
That's cool.
And I think there's something really too, like being very disciplined with yourself and your calendar and like your time. Because you said time management, and you have to pay it to yourself sometimes, and you have to be unavailable. That's why you also have to be really available in other ways. So that's why it's like schedule 2 available things where you're just there for her. Then you can take that time and also communicate with her when you're going to be working on your craft. Maybe you need to enroll in a class that makes it feel more legit or something, like, because classes are always
I thought about that.
Great jumping off points for creativity, because even though like some of it's not up your alley, and like there's other people and it's annoying or whatever, and it's like sometimes it's good to just take, like, I used to take a figure drawing class, and it was just like nice to like get away from everybody, and no one asks questions because it's like a class and it's consistent, and then you can just kind of start your creative muscles working again. I think that's very helpful.
Well, it just seems my problem is once I go into that creative mode, like it's hard for me to come out of it. And then once I come out of it, it's hard for me to get back into it. I guess that's my biggest
You just got to suck
issue.
it up.
I think that is the difference. But honestly, and not to be all tough love drill sergeant guy, but that to me is, I get what you're saying. You got to get in the groove, and you got to get your mind flowing in that zone. But that's the difference between an amateur and a professional. Is the professional finds a way to hone their skill to the degree that they turn it on when they have to. You think I always want to do a set? I don't. I want to stay home and watch Netflix. But when I get to the club, it's like I've done this enough times where I'm like, okay, I got to get up and I have to do well. And so I think that's your new. You're not looking at the rest of your life. You're looking, maybe if you really take it seriously to become a professional artist, you're not looking at the rest of your process for the rest of your life. You're looking at the end of the amateur phase. And the professional phase is a different thing where you have synthesized these. And by the way, I think that
I'm going to write that down.
It'll be on a podcast. It'll be recorded. But I think
I'm going to listen to it again.
But I think that telling your wife all of these things really explicitly, hey, I love you. You're so valuable to me, and I want to make sure that I never neglect this relationship. But I also have this thing that I want to take all the way. I'm sure you've had some version of this conversation, but to say it really,
for sure.
To say it super explicitly,
Get her on board. Maybe she'll help you in ways that you never knew she was possible.
Right. And saying it really out loud in those terms.
And if she's not cool about it, that's something to know before you have a family with them, because if she has some other expectation,
she's really supportive.
That's great.
So I'm just saying, if you say all those things in one conversation where you're like, my relationship's important, my this is important, I want to move into a phase where I have a goal to become this kind of person professionally, and I also want to make sure that never interferes with our relationship, let's make a plan. Let's make a scheduling plan. Let's get together on Friday nights and Saturday nights, and every other night I'll spend in my pottery thing, and then find out, because you're right. Once you make the leap, then you won't have the 40-hour week job, and then you'll be able to do foot worship.
But that takes a lot.
And hopefully do
Foot worship.
Foot worship. Eventually, that's what he's interested in doing. He lives in Florida, I assume. Swinging, meth and stuff like that. But also have you done the like Patrick Swayze ghost type of like love making in a pile of clay type of thing?
Every time I mention pottery.
Okay,
What are you gonna
I
do?
have one
Sometimes
other
there's
thing to
low-hanging
say.
fruit.
I have one other thing to say. It's you have to be careful not to be too precious about your art too, because I do think it all informs each other. And I remember I would be coming home from acting conservatory in New York, or going to leaving New York, and I was like going to my waitressing job, and on my way from conservatory at like 2:30, I was like in the best mood and like, thinking of all these monologues and like practicing my accents, and like I was so like all of my sensors were on. And then I remember like going to a waitressing job, and then 8 hours later, like leaving there and just being like Lefroy, Macallan, like just remembering all the whiskeys, and like having to like say all the beers, and like dealing with assholes, and like all of that was like taken away and like robbed of me, I guess, until the next day. But and I would like feel bad for myself, because I'm like, I just want to like be, and maybe actually it's better to be protected from the mundane, but sometimes that's not your path. So sometimes you have to just kind of like figure out how it can all work together.
I have another thought too, speaking of what you're saying, like you're so lucky that your dream is to be an artisan, because it is attainable. If you get good enough at it, you will and will become a professional at it. It's not a pipe dream. Like if you were like, I got some hobbies and mostly it's rap and making TikToks go viral. It's like, okay, grow up. That's what my thought would be like, fucking grow up. Like if you're not willing to move to New York, you're not willing to move to LA and like put everything you have into this, then it probably won't happen. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not saying that that people with a dream to be famous shouldn't go after that dream. I'm saying when it comes to something tangible like pottery and woodworking, it's like all you have to do is keep working, and you will get good enough, and then have the balls or the ovaries to make a big risk and take a leap to become a professional. You can make a living doing that. You can do that. Yeah. I feel like that dream can and will come true if you just keep, and by the way, probably won't come true if you're by yourself all depressed. So you got to water that wife too. Keep her wet. Keep your wife wet.
Okay. Good luck.
Okay.
I think we gave you a lot of wisdom.
Yeah. I think we really dropped some bombs.
Thank you very much.
And we will gladly take, when you're ready, some pottery or some woodworking stuff as a result of us being your spiritual guide to get you into your professional realm. So let us know.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Good luck.
Bye.
I remember like when I was like almost done waitressing, I was like I would like have dreams about like waitressing and then like collapsing, and like I would like fall to the floor in my kitchen like in the afternoon and like pray and just be like, please don't make me do this anymore. And then like slowly like I was able to have a professional life, but I feel like it took so much sacrifice, and it took a lot of hard work, and you just had to like decide what you were going to say no to, because you have to say no.
But that's what's cool about what that guy's dream is like, I feel like with our dream, there's a lot, we both know some people who are out there that are so talented at comedy that just didn't, for whatever reason, the lightning didn't strike them, and they just never found a way to make a living doing it, even though they were talented. If this guy gets talented enough, he'll find a way to make a living. And I think that's like, what a huge advantage to have your dream be something that's so tangible and so based on a thing that people need. Anyway, Natasha, you had some great thoughts and advice. I mean, he came to two people that figured out a way to make a living doing what they were dreaming of doing. So
I just remember it taking a lot of your, it took a lot of precedence. Like you have to put that over most things.
Absolutely. Yeah. I remember when I first started comedy, coming to the Punchline, and Jacob Siroff saying to me, he was another comedian, and we knew each other from community college. And he's like, wait, you still have friends? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, oh yeah, no, I don't hang out with anybody anymore. I just do comedy. And I was like, that seems like too much. That seems like too much sacrifice. And I never did that. Anyway, I thought that would be interesting. Maybe it wasn't.
Well, I just think going up when you don't really feel like it, like you just kind of have to make yourself.
Sure.
All right. Well, maybe we should spread some of this wisdom and
love we got a lot of wisdom to give
to Bailey in New York.
Hey, Tosh.
Yeah, Moshe.
You know what I love to do?
What?
To spend 4 to 6 hours in the drug department at a Costco, finding hair care products.
Oh
and
my God.
to go there all the time and buy them in person.
And you know what's crazy? Even if you go to one of those places, they don't have good hair care stuff.
Exactly. You have to go in, or you have to go to a little salon to find high quality stuff. Forget all that. Go to Kitsch. It's a game-changing, time-saving, beauty essentials super location on the internet for hair, skin, and body.
Whatever your budget, your skin type, your hair type, Kitsch believes you deserve little indulgences at affordable prices morning, noon, and night.
Kitsch has tons of awesome products for your hair and your skin and your sleep.
Oh, they sent us that satin pillowcase, not silk. That's made from silkworms, but it was like a satin pillow or a satin pillowcase with the eye mask.
I wear that eye mask.
And
It's
you let
really,
me sleep until 9 this morning with it.
because you had the eye mask.
Thank
They're
you,
really,
honey.
really nice. They're great for your hair and your skin while you sleep. They've got these shampoo and conditioner bars, which you actually gave me one the other day because we were tired of throwing away plastics. And I started using the bar, and it really is high quality stuff. It's
Especially
really
if
good.
you just like shampoo your bangs, you put this little bar, you put the angle side on the front of your bangs, and then you just kind of rinse it out. And
I don't have bangs because I'm a man, but anyway, whatever she's saying, I'm sure is true. They've got these heatless satin curling rollers, so you can say bye to heat damage. There's a quick dry hair towel. They work like a dream. Anyway, the point is, you don't have to go to a store anymore and search for what you want because it's all waiting for you, and Kitsch made it. Kitsch is offering you 30% off your entire order at mykitsch.com/honeymoon.
that's right, 30% off anything and everything at MyKitsch, spelled mykitsch.com/honeymoon.
One more time, mykitsch.com/honeymoon for 30% off your order.
Okay, now we are going to call Bailey in Brooklyn.
Ah, Brooklyn. Home of girls.
The Beastie Boys.
Beastie Boys, late night slices of za, yellow cabs.
No one in New York
the,
calls it
the
za.
Big Apple.
might.
Bailey, have you ever had real New York pizza?
I think it depends on your definition of New York pizza.
You know, a slice.
Let her tell you what her definition is.
You know, like a late night slice of za where the
Mosh.
fellas are in there and they're pounding dough, and you say, "Give me a slice."
They made it not 99 cents anymore, though.
I did hear that. I actually heard that. It's a true sign of the times. True sign of the late stage capitalism that infects us all.
Bailey, what's up?
Very appealing. Sorry?
What's up?
I'm good. I'm so excited to meet you guys. I'm a huge fan, so I'm very happy to meet you.
Well, hopefully we'll meet in person on October 29th on my show in the home of real New York pizza, Brooklyn, New York, at the Bell House. Right there in the Big Apple. You ever heard that phrase, the Big Apple?
No, new to me, but I like it.
It's nice,
Hopefully
isn't
it'll
it?
stick.
Yeah, New York City. Anyway, October 29th, Bell House. Heck yeah.
I'm in Brooklyn, so yeah, sounds good.
Okay, what's up? How can we help?
So I have a live-in boyfriend. He's my partner. I love him very, very much. He's an actor, and
Ooh, that
he's
sounds
great.
annoying.
Yeah.
like I'm just thinking young people, actors, Brooklyn,
Hey.
He's not
small
he's not
apartment. Okay.
Okay, so go ahead.
I don't know.
She loves him. She loves him. He's her
Okay,
partner.
okay.
All right.
He's from Oregon, he's an actor, but he is also an amazing chef and does a lot with food. And right now, he just seems miserable. Like, I think he can be an actor. We met in acting school, so I used to be an actor. So the whole thing isn't foreign to me. But he doesn't seem to be happy anymore doing it, and he loves cooking. And he doesn't seem to think that he could do anything else. And every night when I'm out with our friends and he's like in the bathroom or whatever, they'll say like, why doesn't Noah just, cook? Why doesn't he make, do something with food? And do you think he's going to still try to act forever? And I don't know basically whether or not to just like keep supporting him and be there for him and say nothing, or kind of like push his other dream, which he really is passionate about, which is like having his own business with food.
That's interesting.
How old is he?
Tonight's episode is all about dreams. You don't know that because you didn't hear the last call, but the last caller also was about how does one grapple with a dream or letting a dream go. It sort of sounds like.
So how old is he? Just curious. Is he in his 20s?
55. He's a 55-year-old man, and he's never acted once.
No.
No, how old is he?
He's 26. He's 26.
Okay, so I think that there's something to people's own relationship with their dream, and sometimes it just needs to like play its course, and you never want to be the person, I don't think, to like stop it. But you know, it might be nice if you could also, like, all actors are kind of idiots. So you kind of need him. So your boyfriend is
an idiot, and that's a big part of this.
And he needs to say goodbye to that part of himself. Like, I think everybody seems to know it. The fact that he has a dual passion, it's like, duh. But he just needs to, like, slowly let it kind of, you know, fade to the background.
I totally agree with you, Natasha, that, like, in a way, this is a, like, classic, like, Nunya situation, Nunya business. But in another way, it's like not at all, because it is taxing to be the romantic partner to a person who's got a monomaniacal dream that is not and seemingly will not come true. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he could be a huge actor. I mean, who knows?
But it takes like a lifelong dedication to just like pounding the pavement. And like, if you have something else you're good at that brings you passion, you know, that would be like a more chill life where you could actually still make a lot of money. It's like you do want to encourage them. So you should always be very positive about all of his food related stuff.
And maybe very, very negative about any acting performance you see.
No.
Really roast
But
it.
also, is it possible to do any kind of like class together? Like a cooking class or something that you guys could like.
I mean, he's the cook.
I know, but like maybe she could like involve herself.
I had a breakthrough here. I had a breakthrough in the last 5 minutes. Yeah, but I like your suggestion of being really supportive of the cooking. And then when you see him act, be like, you don't got it, kid. That kind of thing.
No, don't do that.
I think that your job, this is my breakthrough. Your job, it is a Nunya. Because your job as his love is not to guide him into what he ought to do like his big mommy. I mean, that seems condescending. Like, I know that you ought to be a cook. I know acting's not going to work out for you. And
then he'll get offended and be like, oh, you don't believe in me?
Right. Like, I think your job as a love is the part that you first said, which is that he seems unhappy. And so rather than like...
That's what I'm saying. Like, I believe in him. Like, I 100% believe in him. It's really mainly that, like, he's in a show right now and he comes home and he's like he's not coming home and he's like, oh my God, let me tell you about like rehearsal today. He's coming home tonight and I'm like staring at 15 pounds of mushrooms because he's making mushroom risotto.
Right,
like,
right.
It has nothing to do, like, I am so happy to support him. Really, it's simply that like he just doesn't seem to be happy, but he doesn't want to give up.
Have you guys had that conversation? Are you enjoying acting? Do you still love it? Why you seem unhappy when you get home from work? What's your relationship like with acting these days? Have you had that overt conversation?
I'm a little scared to ask that because I feel like he's going to be like, "No, I do love it," you know.
And you don't want to. And you don't want to hear that.
No,
you don't. I don't. That's what the vibe I'm getting is that you want him to go, this is ridiculous. I need to move on. Maybe I should be a chef. Like, that's what you want. And right? Am I right?
I don't know. I just don't know because I just want him to be happy. And it just doesn't seem like he's happy. And I know that cooking would make him happy. But if he like made it as the actor, then he'd be like very, very happy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Is there any way you could say those last two sentences to him? Or is that like not possible?
Yeah.
Because you could say, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but couldn't you say something like if it really is like, you know, I've noticed you've been in kind of a bad mood when you've come home from the play, and I don't know, I'm just checking in with you to see how you're feeling about it all, and I don't know, like, just start a dialogue about it, and if he's really defensive, you don't have to go on.
Here's the risk that you run. What do you do for work now?
I work in art.
And do you love it? Are you happy now?
Yeah.
Like, the risk you run is with this conversation this is a tricky conversation for you specifically to have, because the risk you run is coming off like, okay, buddy, I was like you. I grew up. Now I'm an adult, and now I'm happy and a grown up woman. And you're still. I love you, but you're still like a little boyish, wide eyed. That's the risk that you run with this conversation where he goes, "Oh, okay, got it. So you resent my dream because I haven't given up on it, and you want me to just like join the workforce or whatever." Like
I started doing stand up at 28. So it's like 26 is like, I don't know. I think you're still in the zone where you're like switching things.
Yeah. So I just feel like the conversation is all, if you have the conversation, and by the way, I think a conversation seems necessary, but it's all about, I'm noticing that you don't seem happy, and I notice that cooking makes you happy. Like, is there any... What do you think about that? Is acting still your ultimate dream? Or
because if it is, I want to support you.
Yeah, 100%. But if it's not, I look at your cooking and I go, this person's an artist. You would thrive so much in this world. Like,
oh, I have another thing you can tell him too. I don't know how deep you guys get, but like if you have a deep conversation about art and his ability, and if that's really, obviously you should be also thinking about your life, but. Maybe you could ask him or tell him that, creative energy, sometimes people have to understand that creativity is like an engine and it has like all these different ways it can come out, and so it's like sometimes the form is acting and sometimes the form is tap dancing and sometimes the form is cooking, but it's like it's still coming from the same creative place.
That's real.
So he might have to like...
I love that.
That's really good.
But that's something you come to learn. So,
Right.
When you're young, it's,
I think the conversation, I think, Natasha, that was really deep and really smart and spot on. And I think the conversation, if you do have it, I think it's all around this happiness thing. It's not around the acting thing, or maybe it's time for us to move on from acting. It's all about like, what I see is that you don't seem like acting is giving you what it used to. It's not filling you up. And when I see you cook, I see you so inspired and so happy. Like, I'll support you no matter what it is you decide to do, even though, let's be honest, that's not true. Eventually, over a long enough timeline, it's not.
No, it's true.
With little
Moshe.
enough success and long enough time, support dwindles. But you go. Is that a dream that you have? You know what I'm saying? It's all about this like supportive, like I'm your cheerleader, I'm your rock. No matter what it is, I'm down. But what I'm seeing is that you're happier when you're cooking than you are when you're chasing this thing.
Well, I think what Natasha said as well, like his cooking thing is very creative. He talks about making these like incredible dinner parties with like, he makes this menu and he has poetry readings during it. Like, it's not an uncreative thing.
By the way, this is like the future for rich people. Like an amazing creative chef that does poetry with the presentations. Yeah, like he's gonna like if he started a company, he could like incorporate everything and get so rich.
That actually sounds like kind of awesome. To a really talented chef who's also a talented performer.
Way richer than an actor.
Who's coming in and doing a kind of almost interactive food situation would be awesome. I mean, that's a thing that happens with actors, with people in like entertainment industry stuff. You get very locked into one thing. I must become a movie star. And like that's going to happen for no one. It's like such rarefied air. It's like 0.01%. But to say, you're so creative when you're cooking, and maybe there's a way to synthesize. I don't know. That's a very interesting idea. Anyway, my original point is, I think the biggest point is, when you have this conversation, and I think you should, because it's all about you being open to your partner, make it all about, maybe it's time to move away from acting, and all about what I'm noticing is you don't seem happy when you act, and you seem so happy when you cook. Am I seeing things, or is that real? And then if he reveals that it's true, then damn it, yes, you've got yourself a chef and you can move along. And
you're such a supportive partner. That's so nice that you care so much about your partner's journey. You must really believe in him.
I really do. Like, I mean, he's amazing. Like he's truly like amazing. I just want him to I don't want him to have these 10, and maybe it's just me being his little protector and being too protecting about it, but I don't like seeing him struggle so much, And I see this other thing that he's so good at. And it's not like that thing is going to make him tons of money either. It's just another thing that when he does it, he's happy the whole time.
Okay, I have a question, Moshe. You have a daughter. If she came to you and had a similar situation,
you also have a daughter.
What would you tell our daughter?
If
if she was like, I really want to do this thing, but
if my daughter was Bailey, or if my daughter was Bailey's actor husband,
yeah.
Oh, and what is she saying to me?
She really wants to do this thing, but she's so obviously good at this other
And
thing.
I see it in her, you're saying. I think what I keep coming back to the same thing. You just have to, if you have this conversation, like my old AA sponsor would always say, like whenever I'd have a conflict with someone, not that you're in conflict, but I'd be like, I want to have it out with the person. And he would always ask me like, why do you want to have that conversation? Is it to salvage the relationship, or is it to get something off your chest? Right. And so I needed to always be, he's like, if it's just to choose someone out, there's no point in having the conversation. Just don't. But if it's because you love that person and you want to make sure you stay friends with them, and if you don't say this stuff, your friendship will suffer. Yes, it's worth having the conversation. So like, my biggest feeling is this conversation should only be if it's coming from a place of like, I love you so much and I'm seeing that you're not happy. I want you to be happy. Not that you're saying this, but maybe there's a small part of you that subconsciously is doing this. Not, hey, it might be time for you to grow up a little bit. Like,
you wouldn't say that to the child?
All I'm saying is it's different from a love and a parent. But even still, nobody wants someone to come in and say, I'm noticing that what you're doing isn't very realistic, and there's another thing you should be doing if you grew up a little bit. Not that I believe you that you really just care about his happiness, but there's maybe like a 0.5% where you're just like, what are you doing, dude? There's water over here. Walk over this direction. It's obvious. Come do this because it's clearly what you're supposed to be doing. Nobody wants their lover to be looking at them and going like, come on, grow up, right?
You deserve to be the wife of Mark Zuckerberg's chef.
Everybody's dream. That is everybody's dream. No, so I'm saying, well, have the conversation, but don't make it about like it's time to grow up. Just be careful not to accidentally slip into those things, because he could get it's so possible that he would get defensive and not hear what a place of love it's coming from, I think is my point.
Yeah, definitely. I'm worried about that because that isn't the case. And like I said, he wouldn't be making any money doing this other thing. Like it's just a different sort of situation. It's like, it's important to note, as well, the fact that like 90% of the time he isn't doing what he's doing. He's, working at a restaurant, and like that, makes him just miserable. And that's part of the life. And I know that, but like, it's just hard to watch.
I see. So when he works in the food industry, he's not happy. When he works in the acting industry, he's not happy. You're saying you think what would make him happy is becoming like an entrepreneur chef.
Yeah, just trying the other thing that he's passionate about, kind of, or just, I don't know, like just sort of maybe realizing that it's not making him as happy as maybe he thought it would.
But let him do him.
Yeah, I mean he's a grown up boy, and he doesn't need you to make him happy. In fact, you can't. And in fact, it's also possible that he's just kind of unhappy in general.
And that's something to really keep track of,
Right. I mean, he doesn't need you to make him happy, but what he does need you to do is like, and what you need to do is tell him, here's what I'm seeing and I love you and we have to have this conversation. You can't make him happy. That's not possible. You don't have that power. But you can support him. You can support him and you can bring...
Yeah.
All right, Bailey, be brave.
Yeah, be brave. Have the conversation.
Go there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
you can do it.
And tell him some statistics. Look up some statistics on how many actors make it, and then show him those on like a chart or something like that. That could be good.
And go see him in the play. Maybe he's really amazing.
I'm sure she's seen him. Is he really good at acting?
He's great. He is great. Yeah. He has a show this weekend, and I'm excited to see him. And so.
Oh my God, you got to get him out of that profession.
I mean, you're an actor. You are an actor.
I'm just saying. I'm not trying to go to like amateur productions in
What?
Brooklyn.
He's so good. She's excited about going.
Okay.
No, he is good.
What's better? Okay, what's better, the risotto or his role this weekend?
Has he ever asked you your opinion on his headshot?
Oh God, I've taken his headshot before.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and listen, creative dreams are difficult to attain, but you didn't answer the question. What's better, the risotto or the performance?
The performance.
Okay, so the risotto. So the risotto. I mean, it's so obvious.
She knows he's gonna listen to this.
Yeah. All right. Listen. Tell him to be a chef. You know what? You guys should watch Jon Favreau's seminal work, Chef. and then he'll be able to
It's just
synthesize it.
All right. Good luck, Bailey. We love you.
Will you have the conversation?
Yeah, I will have it. I'll have it. I was worried he was going to come home
All right.
right now and I heard the door open.
Tell us how it goes. Will you contact us again? We want to know.
Yeah. Hit us
Yeah, I
up.
can.
And come on the 29th and bring some risotto for real.
I could definitely do that. I would
Hell yeah.
definitely do that. He'll have a crazy amount. So
I love that. All right, cool.
Bye, hun.
Good luck.
All right.
You're
Thank
awesome. You seem cool.
Bye.
Bye.
I think being married to someone who's creative in the kitchen is like kind of akin to like marrying rich.
I hear that. I mean, I hear that for you.
Yeah, you're really good in the
I've
kitchen.
never experienced it personally, but
You don't have that one, no.
I can imagine that that's really cool.
It
I
is
mean,
cool.
this is so
Marrying a
interesting.
chef.
That was such an interesting episode because it was the two sides of the same issue, which is a person chasing their dream and the partner of that person having to deal with it. I mean, you know, it's very difficult because your job as a partner is to support your partner and make them thrive. And then also, if they're an struggling actor in New York, I imagine, I didn't want to say this, but I imagine it's also like, come on, buddy, this is kind of a turnoff. Like if it's not working, you know what I mean? But then again, you know, there's that story about John Krasinski. I just was watching a clip of it. Do you know about that? He says to his mom, he's like, Mom, I think I'm going to go to New York and become an actor. And she's like, okay, but do me a favor. And she's like, I'll totally support you. But she's like, do me a favor. In 2.5, 3 years, if you're just getting no feedback positive from the universe, maybe consider quitting because it's not fair that I should have to ever tell you to give up on your dream. So she's just like, remember this conversation. And in 2.5 or 3 years, like just do it yourself and get out maybe. And he goes, okay, that's fair and reasonable. 2.5 years later, struggling.
Got The Office.
Cut that out, please. 2.5 I mean, it's just like, obviously that's where the story is going. What the fuck? Well, how do stories work for you? It boggles my fucking mind. 2.5 years later, don't cut it out now because it became funny. 2.5 years later, he calls his mom and he's like, it sucks. I'm getting nothing. Nothing's going my way. I'm just waiting tables. This is awful. And she goes, you know what? Why don't you just give it till the end of the 3 years? And he was like about to quit. He's saying, come get me. And he goes, okay, fine. I'll give it 6 more months. 2 weeks later, Natasha
Got The Office.
He got The Office. Yeah, that's right. Now he's got his dream come
His
true.
mother must have been a witch.
I mean, that's pretty powerful stuff. So
All right,
you
well, give
never
us-
want to tell somebody to stop.
No, I love it. Give us a call, 213-222-8608.
Got
and
The Office.
leave us a secret.
Or you can be on the podcast if you email us at endlesshoneymoonpod@gmail.com. You can also be a part of our Patreon community where you can lambaste me for not tipping. Patreon/endlesshoneymoon.
We have another dinner party coming.
We have another dinner party coming. There's also a Discord on the Patreon so you guys can chat. Honeymooners can meet each other and maybe even a love connection will come from it. And there are merch boxes for the $25 a month category in Patreon. There are these fat merch boxes with old albums and all this cool stuff in it. They're coming your way ASAP.
Our child has been hard at work in a factory making paintings for all of our
Patreon subscribers.
subscribers.
And I dropped a fat mixtape for everybody. And there's more of that to come as well. Anyway, we love you. And not only do we love you, but Natasha, I love you.
I love you too.